Zatanna, Bring Down the House, issue 3, Mariko Tamaki on the writing with Javier Rodriguez on the art. So, yeah, we had this bunny girl show up in the last issue, and this issue is very much presenting her as an opposite force to the Council of Magicians that are kind of investigating Zatanna right now. And, you know, Stranger Girl kind of pops back into it as well after arguing with her bosses for a little bit. But yeah, Zatanna's like, hey, are you a bunny? Are you one of my bunnies? And Bunny Girl's like, no, I'm not a bunny. As she, you know, sips some carrot soup.
The carrot soup, yeah.
But basically, yeah, you use magic, right? You've been abusing it even. And Zatanna's just like, oh my god. I love the speech bubble here because it's just like oozing, like, it's not even like icicles like sometimes you get when characters are angry. This is more just like a breaking down angry where I'm like, oh my, why do people keep bringing this shit up? I don't do magic.
Yeah, it's oozing like irritation.
Yes. Very, very good. And then Bunny Girl like headbutts her with a little tap, and it sends her into this 2-page spread of just crazy art of Zatanna going, well, as she puts it, is this down the rabbit hole? And Bunny Girl's like, no, it's a bunny well. Legally distinct.
Feels a bit of a semantic distinction. That's how Zatanna responds.
Yeah.
This page in particular, there's a lot going on, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah, lots of colors, lots of, you know, it really does feel kind of crazy and a little bit psychedelic. And what this leads to is Zatanna like being trapped with a monster, a giant bunny monster with one eye and huge teeth. I love that it's all sharp teeth, except the 2 middle teeth, which are still the bunny sort of buck teeth, just for the fun.
The middle incisors of the bunny.
Yeah, because, you know, the Bunny Girl's like, hey, you've misused magic, the penalty for which is death. Here's, you know, this full-page spread of this giant, like, bunny monster. This is just playful. This is, you know, the artist and the writer having fun with what they can do.
I love the death metal font on the Destroyer of Souls.
Yep.
Like, again, the letters having fun as well. And I like the color change here because it's not exactly psychedelic, but like Zatanna's in different colors every time you see her. You know, so there's like a shifting that's going on that's telling you there's, you know, not that anything's wrong, but it's definitely a different realm.
I think it adds to the idea that she feels disorientated, that every single panel she looks different.
That's disorienting is kind of a much better way of putting what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and then eventually after running from this bunny, and again, you know, it's almost like as well that there's less detail in each panel as it goes. Like the colors keep changing, but when you get to that second page where she's running away, it becomes just solid colors in the background, almost like as it goes on, like reality slipping away more and more to just be these simplistic colors. Yeah. And then eventually, Zatanna finally says something backwards. You know, she says, "Rabbit, soul, stop."
Rabbit, stop soul crushing.
Soul crushing. Sorry, yes. I always see the thing with Zatanna, like speaking backwards, is I always sometimes question, do the words also go backwards? And they don't. It's just the letters in the words that go backwards.
Yes.
But yeah, so that actually like snaps her out of this weird, like, you know, dimensional rabbit hole she's in, and she's back in her bed, which is surrounded by bunnies at this point, and she's like, what's that? And she's like, hey, you were special, your dad was special, you always had magic in you. Maybe, and basically implies that Zatanna, unbeknownst to her, has been speaking backwards in her sleep and making her bunnies fly around. Which I don't remember anything, but I would be curious to go back to issue 1 now when she like was leaving the house and she was speaking to her bunnies. I wonder if there was a hint there that something weird was happening during the night, because I remember her like saying some stuff to the bunnies on the way out, or like about
and the bunnies were kind of hiding from her.
Yeah,
right?
like there was some hints.
I do remember that.
Yeah, something was going on. So I think that's fun and sort of lines up with what we were getting back in the first issue. But so. Yeah, so Zatanna basically like sneaks away by trying to do like a little smoke bomb trick, which leaves Bunny Girl to be like, damn it, we have to find her before they do, talking to her bunnies. However, there's an eyeball spying on them at the window, which travels down the street on its own to the eye of a magician working, or I say magician,
or a conjurer.
A conjurer working for the Council of Magic. And like, yeah, she's been using magic. I saw it with my own eye. So it really presents that we've got these two forces. Bunny Girl's trying to help, seems to be on Zatanna's side. Council of Magic seem to be, I mean, it kind of gets into it because Zatanna goes to a diner and Bunny Girl comes in quite quickly and sits down with her and kind of explains some stuff. There never used to be all these rules for magic until someone stole magic from someone else, and then all these rules came into place and the council became a thing. And the reason why your father was seen as dangerous is because he was experimenting with forbidden spells and forbidden magic. And that, we don't get like a clear answer, I think, by the end of this, but this idea, Zatanna theorizes, wait, did I steal my dad's magic when he died? Is that what happened? And she's like, well, that's not quite right. But, sometimes when these forbidden spells are used, it creates a demon. And that was the big demon that attacked her at her
stage show.
Her stage show, yeah. In fact, we see someone working for the Magic Council, possibly secretive that they're not supposed to, go to the old Zatara house and seemingly gets attacked by this big demon. Again, the color in here is so good. It's all these simplistic, two-tone colors, like solid black backgrounds or solid like red backgrounds with like a blue character.
And it's very flat.
Yeah.
Which the rest of the art has a real good depth of field. Like them at the diner, there's this real fun page where the bunny girl starts explaining about the stealing magic, right? And it's broken down to like what she's showing her is popping up in the window of the diner, right? But people are just walking by. So there's a real fun depth effect there. So then when you get to those pages that are real flat down at the Zatara house, it really creates a separation.
It really feels that we're in a different like place in the like a different type of world. Like it's something where like other things are happening, like more supernatural things. So after explaining all this, there's a tease of someone who's going to pop up at the end, who I did notice. I did notice the trench coat at the diner. He's from the back. It's clearly Constantine, who the cliffhanger at the end is him kind of revealing himself. But Stranger Girl shows up and is like, "Hey, Zatanna's coming with me. She's been stealing magic from things or from people." And Bunny Girl's, "Oh, you're so wrong. Do you ever tire for being wrong?" So these two start arguing. It's like, okay, we've got these characters from the opposing forces. Zatanna's stuck in the middle and doesn't know what to do. And then the end of the issue, the waitress says, "Hey, here's the bill for the food." And Zatanna's like, "I didn't order any food." It's like, "No, but the guy at the counter said you had his." And sure enough, it's Constantine. And to be fair, she did phone someone earlier in the issue to ask for help before she went to the diner. And here's Constantine, who does know him. She does know him.
She knows. Yeah.
This is not someone she doesn't know. So that's interesting that she's not been using magic, but still knows Constantine from her youth. Curious to see how that's explored in the next issue.
And the way that he calls her Z, there's clearly a familiarity there. Right? He has a nickname for her. When they're talking about Zatara and how he was kind of like this wonderkin magic user, right? It almost feels like it's I don't know, they're blaming him for something that had gone wrong, right? And I'm wondering if that is ultimately what he was trying to undo, and that what led to his death and Zatanna ending up with whatever, because I'm feeling like Zatanna didn't steal the power. He found out how to bequeath power, because it feels very much like this Council of Conjurers are all about magic and maintaining their order, right? Because they have to have the rules and whatever, and they don't want people to be able to make, they want to be able to bequeath the power, not for people to decide to hand it out. So I'm almost wondering if that's what Zatara had done and it kind of backfired, and had created that demon and all this other stuff, because Zatanna wanted to learn magic. She had that thing there. And I'm wondering if that's why Constantine's there too, because that's the kind of stuff that he's really good at handling, is the stuff that gets out of hand, and maybe that's why he kind of maybe helped coach Zatanna along the way, now that Zatara was gone. Because this feels almost like, from your favorite show, Buffy, he almost feels like Giles here.
I mean, I don't know if I got that. I mean, if anything, Constantine's similar to Spike, just in general.
No, what I mean is it almost seems like not just a mentorship, but almost like he's almost like he's looked out for her, because of whatever had happened.
I mean,
right?
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I like at this point, I have no speculation in the nature of their relationship. They could be someone who they could have dated when they were sort of
Right.
college aged or whatever, high school aged. I have no idea where they're going with like what their history is here. But I think there's definitely corruption in this magic council. I think it's more about them maintaining their power. Whatever Zatanna supposedly had done, I suspect that he was doing it for a good reason, perhaps. Obviously, we always like see him under this guise of Zatanna's memories, where he's kind of larger than life and he feels kind of shadowy, like he's a bit scary almost. But I suspect we're going to find out that he was actually doing something for a good reason, and I mean, the fact that this character, this blue guy with the little tuft of hair, like sneaks off from the council to go to Zatanna's place, that does feel like, oh, is this someone who's doing something for a bad reason, like away from the council kind of thing? Obviously, he meets his demise in the flames when this big demon attacks him, but it does feel like, oh, there's more going on here. Someone's at fault, and I suspect we're going to unearth like some bad stuff that this council's perhaps hiding. And like their whole like quest for power and like covering things up is all about covering up something they've done to maintain their power, as opposed to, oh, people were actually doing something bad with magic. So
it feels very much like Naboo, right? That we've gotten in the past, and the Lords of Order, that kind of stuff.
That Naboo, not the stupid city in Star Wars.
No, I'm not talking about the prequels. But yes. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, once again, the art is very good. It gets super creative, both in the sequence where she's running from the imaginary big bunny monster, but also when it's doing the stuff of that sorcerer going into Zatanna's place and like all the birds flying out, going up the stairs. It's a sort of really pulpy horror story that ends with this big ridiculous demon coming out and killing him. That stuff looks great, but it's also distinct from the regular stuff when it's just Zatanna in the real world talking to either Bunny Girl. I mean, there's obviously an element of quirkiness because Bunny Girl's got bunny ears and,
green hair, buck teeth like a rabbit. So, yeah. Also, there's just the coloring in this book. I'm assuming it's Javier Rodriguez, the artist, because I don't see a colorist here listed. But just the amount of different colors that he's using, right? Like, there's a scene where Zatanna's walking down the strip to go to the diner, and just everything kind of has that pink hue that we get out in the sunsets here, and just it makes the greens and the purples and everything else pop. It's just there's a lot of good work going on here with the art.
Yeah, I think what sticks out about it is that it's not just that there's different colors; there's like different palettes depending on the type of scene that it is, between like looking into the menu, because you sort of magically makes the menu turn into like sort of like, here's some story about your father appearing, and that's a very different palette from all the horror stuff with the demon, which is a very different palette from all the stuff with the bunny monster, which is a very different palette from just what the regular everyday real world stuff looks like. So yeah, all of it really creates the different vibes that it's going for, and it makes it very pleasant to read. This is a very easy to read book. Like, everything just flows so well. Everything is entertaining. Zatanna's frustration, and I'm already like sensing this idea that, okay, Zatanna's repressed this idea that she can use magic her whole life, and this story's about her accepting that and realizing that she has this power. Like, I can already see this being a stand-in for realizing your own self-worth, or possibly even an allegory for realizing your own sexuality, maybe, just things like that feel like they could be baked into the story here. Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I think we're about done with this book. It's very good. I'm looking forward to the next issue. So, more Tamaki at DC is always a good thing. What are you rating Zatanna Bring Down the House issue 3?
I'm going to give this an 8.5.
Yeah, I find it hard to argue with that. I'm even tempted to even bump it to the 9, but I'll say 8.5.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because it definitely feels like a middle chapter. I liked everything that I read. I just don't want to be over exuberant on it, right? So we'll see where this goes.